Welcome to the Iron Will podcast, where we talk about overcoming adversity and challenges, creating the life we truly want, and how we use iron therapy to improve our mind and body. No matter what life throws at us, we need to develop an iron will to push through whatever stands in the way to becoming the very best version of ourselves. It's never too late, but now is the time for action. Welcome to episode 212 of the Iron Will podcast. Death is coming. Death is coming. It comes for all of us. And that's a stark reality we need to really look at. And we can look at it and panic. We can look at it and be motivated. Or we can look at it and just accept it. But I think, for me, when I really think about how death is coming, we're talking about now there's a capability for us to live to 100, 105, 110, even 120 years now. Because of the quality of life, health, what we know about health, people taking more controls of their health, the environment. We live in a better world. This part of the world anyway. We're living longer. Every generation overall lives longer than one before. But this is one of the biggest jumps that's coming, is this next round, this generation of longevity. And the thing to remember is that no matter what, we're all going to die. And it could take us at any moment. I'm 51 years old. A lot of people around me have started dying in the last few years, around the same age, a little bit younger, a little bit older. These are things we don't think about when we're 20, 30, even 40. We either think we're invincible at those ages, or we're so busy that we haven't got time to think about it. But the reality is, death is coming. And I want you to think for a minute, when the time comes, no matter what age you are, how is death going to find you? How do you want death to find you? Do you want death to find you when you're doing something shameful or selfish? You're living that style, that type of life? You're in the middle of that type of lifestyle? Do you want death to find you when you're just waiting to be good and truly happy, just waiting, hoping it's going to happen? And for a lot of people out there, do you want death to find you just living in the middle of regret and misery? Sad, pissed off at the world, pissed off at everything, just going through the motions. I know I'd like death to find me living my best life, doing what I love, being fully present in the moment, following my purpose, my passion, loving and being loved by the people that matter to me. When I do some of my readings, I read a lot of Stoic readings. I read a book called The Daily Stoic, and a couple of the one-pagers per day have been talking about exactly that death is coming. And to use death as a perspective exercise. Some people talk about doing it daily. Some people talk about doing it on a regular basis. And we get the old line of, imagine you only had 2 months to live or 2 weeks to live. How would you live those 2 months, that 6 months, that last year? If you knew you only had that much time, how would you live it? It's an exercise that a lot of us have run into that are working on self-improvement. I think it's very powerful. I think one of the shortfalls, though, is that we don't come back to it on a regular basis. Put things in perspective. Another thing that the Stoic way of thinking talks about is daily remind yourself of how bad things could be so that you sit back and look at the things that you do have going well for you and really appreciate them. What would it be like if all of a sudden you lost your home, your family, all your possessions? Because those things happen to people. They can happen. They can happen in a blink of an eye for untold reasons. What would that feel like? How would you feel that morning? What would you do that day? Where would you go when everything is gone? And when you think about that, then stop and think about all the things you do have. Do you have a roof over your head? Great, appreciate it. Do you have a car you can drive? Great, appreciate it. Do you have a job? Do you have income? Do you have food in the fridge? Do you have friends? Do you have family? Do you have clothes? A lot of these things we take for granted because we feel that there's something missing. We want more. But going back to what we talked about in the last episode, it's because we're looking outward for much of our satisfaction, outward for much of our happiness, as opposed to looking inward, being grateful. I think the perspective of death coming is very powerful. At 51, I think about it more. I think about it more in the way of my time is limited. I could still sit there and say at 51, if everyone's saying we're going to live to 100, 110, 120, I got lots of time left. But do we have lots of time left? Because now what we do now is going to make a difference in how we feel, look, and are able to do things in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Much like I used to say, I didn't want to live to be 80 and spend the last 10 years of my life stuck in a chair, being fed, wearing a diaper. So just because we can live to be 100 now doesn't change that. But even more important, even bigger than the physical changes, it's the mental things, our mindset, our spirit. I don't want to get to the end and have regret. I don't want to get to the end and feel I should have, would have, or could have on anything. And to me, when I think about death is coming, that's what I look at it. What do I want to do? And then do it. Who do I want to be? Then become it. No more waiting. No more starting, I'll start Monday. No more starting, I'll start next week, I'll start next month. I hear it all the time. I do it. Do it now. Why wait? If you know you should do something, if you know you should have a conversation with someone about something, do it now. Send the message to create the opening for the conversation. If you know you should clean something, then fucking clean it. If you know you should work out, then work out. No more excuses. I'm a broken record, but I come back to it. We make time for what's important. We make excuses for what's not, for us. And just because we deem something not important doesn't mean we're right. Our health is the most important thing. Our mental health is the most important thing. Loving the people around us that matter the most to us is the most important thing. Putting an end to seeking out just immediate gratification rather than deal with bigger things, face things, become better overall, improve things in a larger scale, needs to be started now, needs to be done now. Because if not now, when? Because we are older and getting older, and it's faster. Every year moves by faster. Talk to anyone over 40 and 50, they will tell you the years are starting to spin by, fly by. Because we have so much more going on. So part of it is cut away what's unnecessary. Slow things down. But when you recapture some of that time, put it to good use. Become who you want to become. Take care of yourself. And the better you take care of yourself and the better shape you are mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, the more help you can be to others that are important to you. You can't help anyone else if you're a burden. You can't lead the way if you can't lead the way. It's that simple. You know, we're all going to face things. We're all going to have to deal with things. It's how we get through them, how we get better at dealing with them that matters. Being honest with ourselves. Here's where I'm strong. This is where I'm weak. So where things are, where I'm weak, how do I improve? Can I improve? It can be done. We can do anything. It is truly incredible what we can achieve. But we have to do it. We have to act like death is coming. And death doesn't care. It doesn't care if you're not done yet. It doesn't care if you didn't do the things you wanted to do. It doesn't give a shit if you didn't get a chance to say the things you needed to say. It doesn't care that you're not done yet. It doesn't care if you're loaded with regret or filled to the brim with happiness and satisfaction. It doesn't fucking care. It's up to us. We need to be able to get to the point that we could face death and know that we did as much as we could to the best ability that we could, and we did our best to be as happy as we could and fulfilled. I think facing death under that circumstance will be much easier. much braver. We'll go into it proud. We'll lead by example. We'll leave a history behind us. We'll leave a mark on the planet behind us, on the world behind us, with those who knew us and loved us. I want them to say, that's how I want to fucking go. I want people to say, this guy lived a good life. This guy moved forward. This guy got shit done, did things. This guy was happy. And the people that he loved him. The things he wanted to do, he did as best as he could, and he enjoyed every moment. That's a legacy. That's the legacy I want to live. It doesn't matter how much money's in the bank. It doesn't matter how many cars are in the driveway. We can't take any of that shit with us. But I do believe we can take our happiness with us. I think that's the thing that we can sit there and welcome death when it shows, because we've done what we could do to the best of our ability, and we lived a fulfilled life. Death is coming. Get ready. That's all I have to say on that for now, guys. Head on over to Iron Hoss Gear. Check out our new Iron Will t-shirts and hoodies. And of course, use the code word Iron Will to get 20% off said Iron Will t-shirts and hoodies. And as always, guys, be fucking brave. And I'll talk to you guys later.